And when this is being recorded, it is Tuesday, and it's February 13th. My guess is that many people watching this, perhaps a few of you, started 2018 off with the best of intentions, that you were going to eat healthier, you were going to exercise more. You got into it, you started to make some changes, and maybe some of you are still in the process and things are going well and you're rocking it. Congratulations, awesome, thumbs up, pat yourself on the back. My guess is that some of you have already fallen off the wagon and you're having a hard time getting restarted and getting back on it. And that's what I'm going to share tonight, is the 4 R's to restarting a program once you've blown it. My name is CJ Johnson. My passion is helping people who are over the age of 40 look and feel their best and age exactly the way that you want to. I have a lot of experience with this. I used to weigh over 250 pounds. This journey has not been like this. It has been here and up and down and kind of like this big zigzag all over the map. There are definitely times that I have had to restart and refocus my healthy eating or my exercise plan. These actually, the 4 R's are going to fit and are going to work with either one. So whatever you are looking for in your life, the 4 R's are going to help you to restart that. So if you've ever been going right along, things have been going good, and you fell off the wagon, give me a little thumbs up or give me a little heart, and things got a little tough, let me know. Hopefully I'm not the only one. I don't think I am, but hopefully I am not the only one who's had a little bit of problems with staying in a straight path. By the way, too, if you stay for the end of this, this is actually the last in the New Year, New You series. I have a free giveaway. It's the top 20 health and fitness myths, and they may be some of the things that are holding you back from achieving the health goals that you want. So make sure you stick around to the end, and I will give that to you free. So anyway, let's get going. And let me know this. What do you do to get back on track? When things in your life, your health and your fitness goals, you're not eating well, or you're really not exercising much, what have you done to get back on track? So if you can put that down in the comments down below, we'll take a look in a second. So I want to go ahead and I want to show you this. And I know I start with this picture a lot. That's me. That is me at 38 years old. I am so grateful. I am so grateful for that picture. I don't know that I'd want to go through the losing 100 pounds again, but boy, I got to tell you, it just reminds me that people can change. Anyone can change at any point in time. I am truly nothing special. I knew none of this when I started, but I sure have learned a lot along the way. And that's what we're going to talk about tonight is I blew it. Now what do I do? Let's get you back on track. So here's the 4 R's. Number 1 is reprieve. Number 2 is a reflection. Number 3 is reset. And number 4 is get yourself restarted. So let's start with, this is really one of my favorite sayings. I want to talk about a reprieve. There's nothing like beating yourself up once you're down. I think most of us do that. Not everybody, but I think there's a lot of us that do that. So I want you to ask yourself this question. If you fell off the wagon, I want you to listen to your self-talk. If I spoke to you the way you talk to yourself, would we still be friends? Let me say that one more time. If I spoke to you the way you talk to yourself, would we still be friends? Okay? That's one of those things that it needs to, your self-talk, that reprieve that I'm talking about, beating yourself up, you're not doing yourself any favors. I don't know about you, but sometimes my self-talk is, I'm not good enough, I don't know enough, oh my gosh, how could you be in this position again? You're going to go back to where you were. All those negative things that come up, and they don't do anything for you. So the first R is reprieve. Give yourself a reprieve from the negative self-talk. And that's what life is way too short. What you need to do, the first thing, I have a great friend, Yogi, and he always talks about put down the stick. Monitor your self-talk, see how you are talking to yourself, and if it's not kind and gentle, the world is harsh. Be kind and gentle to yourself. So if you've fallen off the wagon, first of all, put down the stick. That's number one. Stop beating yourself up. Stop telling yourself that you're not enough, you're not good enough, you're not any of those things. Put down the stick. The second thing is forgive yourself. Okay, get over it. Life is not a straight line. I'm not sure that there's anything that's a straight line. I was talking about the Olympics in the pre-show. If you listen to any of the stories on the athletes, how many injuries they've gone through, what they've done, what's happened to them, getting a gold medal, it's not like, gee, I started out at age 8 and boom, I'm here at age 23 and everything has been rosy in between. I've continued to progress. I've never gotten hurt. That's just not how life happens. Life happens. So don't be at war with yourself. Put down the stick, forgive yourself, and monitor your self-talk. Tell yourself, hey, I've done this before. I was great for 5 weeks. I've had a little blip in the road. I can do this again. So that's the very first R, is the reprieve. So if that sounds good, give me a little thumbs up. I love it. John says what he does is he forgives himself and he restarts. I love that, John. That is outstanding. That's exactly what I do, is forgive yourself and restart. And you know what? Sometimes you might restart several times, but I'm going to talk about that just a little bit later because that's actually our fourth R. So the first one was a reprieve. Be nice to yourself. Okay. Number 2 is reflection. The what's, the why, the when, and the where. Okay. I'm suggesting reflection not because I want you to go back to beating yourself up. I don't know about you, but there are times when I think, oh my God, I could have, I should have, I would have. In fact, I have a friend, it's one of my other favorite sayings. He says, stop shoulding all over yourself, okay? The reason you want to reflect what took you away from your healthy eating plan is so that you can put a plan into place in the future where you know how to deal with that roadblock when it comes up again. For me, one of those things that can take me out of eating healthy is dinner out with friends. When I go out with friends, I don't plan it. I don't know the menu. I pretty much guarantee you I am going to gravitate to the most unhealthy thing on that menu. If we go to, I eat primarily vegan. And I say primarily because there's no vegan police. So occasionally I may have something that is not vegan. If I'm out with friends and we're at a restaurant and I haven't pre-planned, and that restaurant has nachos, I'm probably going to eat the dang nachos. And I'm going to feel miserable the next morning because it's all this high calorie and it's all these cheese and things like that. No meat. I don't do it with meat. But I don't typically eat those types of foods, so I feel rotten the next day. Now, that's one of my triggers, is being with friends and pre-planning. So in the reflection process, I know that if I plan, if I'm going out with friends, and I spend a little bit of time looking at the menu, even suggesting the restaurant. We went out with friends a couple weeks ago. It was a new restaurant in town. I went online. I looked at the menu. I made sure that there were suitable choices on that menu. We had hummus. We had Brussels sprouts. We had all these good things on the menu. So pre-planning for me is definitely one of those really big things. Take a look what took you off that plan and put together another plan to deal with it. How are you going to deal with it in the future? So that's the purpose of reflection. Does that sound like something you can do? Give me a little thumbs up if it sounds like something that you'd be able to do. Reflect without beating yourself up. So that's number 1 and number 2. Give yourself a reprieve. Number 2 is to add just a little bit of reflection to that. Let's get into number 3, is to reset. So now that you're done beating yourself up, that you've turned around, you've looked back, and you've made some decisions on how you can avoid that going forward, now it's time to get reset because we're getting ready to restart. So when you reset, the very first thing that you probably need to look at is look at your goals. You probably have some weight goals, maybe some healthy eating goals. Perhaps that those need to be rewritten. If you've been off your plan for a couple of weeks, you're probably not going to reach your weight loss goals in the same time frames that you did before. If you haven't been working out for months, you're probably not going to go and start working out 5 days a week next week. You have to reset those goals and get started again. So if you have any questions on goal setting, truly the first 3 shows of the year, I talked about first, number 1, setting goals kind of in all areas of your life. And then the second show, I talked about how to start a weight management plan, how to start healthy eating. And the third show, I talked about exercise. I am going to put all those links down below. You can go and you can review those shows if you need some additional help. My recommendation, however, is when you have goals, specifically when you have goals related to your health and your fitness, is write them down. You should have 2 or 3 things written down. As an example, I'm taking a test coming up in a couple of months. I want to lose about 10 more pounds so that it makes the skiing easier for me. If you look at the calendar on my wall, I have weight loss goals on that calendar. I did not achieve my goal by the end of January. Now, it wasn't because I fell off the wagon. It was just my body was a little slower than I had anticipated. I looked at the next month and I reset my goal so that I didn't feel like I was failing, because if we don't reset our goals, we sometimes feel like failures. So make sure you look at your goals. If you need more help, go back to those additional resources, but make sure that you do that for yourself, because that's a really, really big thing. So we've given ourselves a reprieve. We've kind of looked at what we were doing. How can we avoid that in the future? We reset our goals, and now it is definitely time to restart. What worked before? That's what I'm going to ask you. There are thousands of ways to restart a program, but what worked for you to restart a program? I will tell you, for me, when it comes to healthy eating, I have shared this multiple times on this show. I feel that the one key, the reason I've been able to maintain my weight, the reason I was able to lose weight, is I write down what I eat and I do it before I eat it. When I am off the wagon with my food, I'm eating whenever I want to, whatever I want to. Even if it's healthy stuff, I'm overeating. I'm consuming too many calories. When I need to get back on the healthy eating wagon, I start writing it down. I pull out my phone. I got my phone here. I pull out my phone. I go to my favorite app, which is MyFitnessPal. There's 2 of them. You've heard me talk about them multiple times. I'll put the links down below. MyFitnessPal as well as Lose It. Use the free versions. Start writing it down. Put the food down. Write it down before you actually put it into your mouth. That makes me accountable, and therefore I'm able to restart and reset my plan. Now, it might be very different for you. You may have to go back to that reflection and you might have to say, well, gee, what worked for me before? Maybe you didn't bring any of those foods into the house. Then all of a sudden you found yourself at the grocery store and you were buying Cheetos for your teenagers. I don't know about you. There are certain junk foods that I may buy them for my husband, but they are not meant for my husband. They are truly meant for me. If I brought those darn things in the house, I know it's because I plan to eat them later on. So perhaps you've brought some food in your house that because you brought it into the house, now you ate it. Get it gone. Clean out your house. Go back to the healthy eating habits. Perhaps breakfast is a very important meal. And when you don't eat breakfast, you're ravaged by lunch and then you're eating late in the afternoon. Now, there's reason that happens, and that's cortisol production, and that gets worse for us as we age. So what I can tell you is this: eat a healthy breakfast. Perhaps that's what you need to restart. But look at what worked before. Pick a date, pick a time, and just restart and commit to it. And here's the big key with that: 1 day at a time, 24 hours. 1 day at a time. That's all you have to worry about, is that one particular day. Stick to your goals and stick to your plan. And sometimes you can't even look at the whole day. Sometimes it may be 10 minutes at a time or an hour at a time, but stick to your plan for that one day. What you will find is it starts to pile up one day after another, after another, after another. So those are the 4 R's of getting back on the wagon after you've had a diet meltdown. We want to put down the stick, give yourself a little bit of a reprieve. You want to reflect what took you out and how can you plan for that in the future. We want to reset our goals if we need to, and then we want to go ahead and use what worked before and get ourselves restarted. So put those into place, and I'm sure that you will have a lot of success. So remember this, all habits, they do start slowly and gradually, and before you know it, you have the habit and the habit has you. And sometimes we need to restart those habits all the time. Now remember, at the beginning of the show I told you if you stuck around to the end I had a special for you. Here are the top 20 myths, and this is your last chance to get it. This little bonus and this little special is going away because we start a new series next week. It's actually a new series on exercise. I'm going to tell you that in about a minute, but these are the top 20 health and fitness myths of 2018, and I'm going to guarantee you that there's probably 1 or 2 in here that are holding you back from getting to your best you, best healthy you. So it's at agewellwithcj.com/20 myths. Alrighty. So give me a little thumbs up if you can reset and get yourself restarted. Give me a little thumbs up or a little heart, a little love. There we go. All righty. So next week, I told you, we're going to be starting on exercise. And I have to tell you, I haven't named it. I have 5 shows, and I was working on them this afternoon, and I forgot to give it a name. But I'm going to start, really, how to get in the best shape of your life in 2018, finally. How to do it. And I'm going to help you to do that. I've got 5 shows planned out for you, so make sure you tune back in here next Tuesday night at 6 p.m. Pacific time. In the meantime, I'm going to get out of here. I'm going to go get that bowl of Brussels sprouts, and I'm going to sit down and see what Shaun White and Michaela Schifrin are doing at the Olympics. I hope that this information was valuable to you, because you know what? Together we can train smart, live bold, and age well.